Good morning, students. So, today we will discuss the two more concepts of our data frame, which are sorting, and next we will discuss pivoting. So, first we will discuss sorting. Sorting term is known to all of us, bete. It means we are going to arrange our data in a particular order. It may be ascending or it may be descending. So, using sorting, we can sort our data in particular order. So for that, Pandas provide two functions. First one is sort underscore values, where our values will be sorted, and sort underscore index, where we can change the order of our index. Okay, so let us see how to use these two functions. So bete, this one is already created our data frame. We have already created this data frame in the previous class. Today we will discuss how to sort our data using sort underscore values function. So suppose I want to arrange our data according to the ascending order of our age, then what we have to write, bete? We have to write name of the data frame, which is df, then the name of the function is sort underscore values, and on which column we want our sorting. We want to sort our data on the basis of column age, and since we have not mentioned the order, by default it will be ascending order. If you will write beta here ascending equal to true, again it means the same. In both the cases we will have the same output. See, no changes. Okay, so if you are not writing here the ascending attribute, then by default our data will be arranged in ascending order. Okay, so this was about ascending. And what if we want it to be done in descending order? For that beta, you have to mention that attribute, and for that you have to write ascending equal to false. Now see here beta, our data has been arranged according to the age, but in this output we are having the age arranged in descending order. You can see the highest age is on the top of our data frame. Okay, got it? Now see beta, suppose, let me change my data frame here. Suppose we are having two duplicates in entry of age. For example, we are having 252 ages. Okay, now when we will execute this, what we will have, Molly is also 52 years old and Amy is also 52 years old. Okay, so when we will execute this one, now see, when we will execute this one, what will happen? Now see, here both Molly and Amy are coming like this. But suppose we want that if two duplicate entry of ages is there, then then the next sorting should be done according to the name, so in the alphabetical order of name. So then you have to mention more than one column. Okay, like this. Suppose now this will be considered, this name will be considered only for the duplicate entry of age. If two age values are same, then next which column will be checked? Next column name will be checked. Okay, and now see here, I have written here that age should be arranged how? Descending order, and name should be arranged in ascending order. Means if we are getting the duplicate entries of age, then first which name should appear? First the name should appear according to the alphabetical order. So in our situation, Molly and Amy was having the same age, so first which should appear? First Amy will appear in our data frame, because I have written true for name, means ascending order, and we know that A comes before M, so first Amy will come. If we will write here beta false, then what will happen? Then Molly will come before Amy. Let us check this one. Now Molly is coming before Amy, so we can sort our data based on multiple columns also. Okay, if there is any chance that duplicate entry for a particular column may be there, then we can have our sorting on multiple columns. Okay, now come to the sort underscore index. Okay, so here now since just see what I have done. I have written ascending is equal to false. That's it. So what will happen beta? Here the index order has been arranged in descending order. Okay, it's very simple. So if you don't write if you won't write anything, then by default it will be ascending order. If you want to make it in descending order, then you have to specify the ascending attribute and you have to make it as false. Okay beta. Now the next thing is renaming index. We can rename our index. So how to do that beta? We can rename both our row index as well as our column index. Now see what we have done here. We have to use rename function and we have used here index attribute. So index attribute signifies beta row indices. Okay, and when we will use here columns, then it means we want to access these indexes. Okay, so if you want to change these column names, then in place of index you have to write columns, but if you want to access this row index, then you have to write here index. So what we want to do, we want to replace 0 as this named 0 and 1 as named 1 number name. Okay, so just see here only 0 and 1 has been replaced with the numerical 0 and 1. Similarly, if you want to rename this small letter name and small letter age with capital letter name and capital letter age, the same thing you have to do. Instead of writing here index, you have to write columns. Okay, so now see the column names has been changed. Okay, so in the previous classes I told you another method to change the name of column. Okay, so you may refer to those videos also. Okay, then next one is beta, what if we want to delete any index? Okay, this row index I am talking about. Okay, so for that we are having drop function. And how to do that beta? Just you have to write name of the data frame, then reset underscore index function is there, and that will call your drop function, and you have to provide that which index you want to drop. So here it is written that index is equal to 4. Now see the index with the row with the index 4 has been removed. Now we are having only 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so these were all about beta sort underscore values and sort underscore index method. Okay, now we are going to start the most important topic of this chapter, and that one is pivoting. Remember beta, the question always comes from this particular topic, so you have to be very careful about this concept. Okay, so what is pivoting? Now beta, we are having a data frame, but it is not like that. If we are creating a data frame, then we will have only 3 to 4 records in our data frame. When we are talking about data frame, then huge amount of data may be there. Okay, so I told you in the previous class that how to create a data frame using CSV file. So in CSV file or in Excel file, we may have huge amount of data, and from that data we can create data frame also. So generally nowadays data analysis is the very important thing going on. Okay, so a huge amount of data is there, and everyone want to summarize the data as per their perspective. They don't want to see the whole data. They want to see some selective columns, selective index, selective values. Then those types of things are known as pivoting. Okay, if I want to summarize the whole data as per my perspective, that as per my requirement, then pivoting will be needed. And Pandas provide two pivoting function. But the first one is pivot function, another one we will come to the for another function we will come later on. So let us discuss first pivot function clearly in this particular video, then we will come to the pivot underscore table, that is the another function, in the next video. So let us start pivot function meeting. I told you that pivoting is all about summarization of data. So when we are talking about pivot function, again the purpose is same. It is used to reshape our data. It is used to reshape our data frame. Okay, we don't want the whole data all the time. Sometimes we want the analysis part. Okay, so for that pivot function is needed, and it can have three parameters. And what are those three parameters bete? Index, columns and values. It can have, but mandatory it should have always two parameters. Okay, and those two parameters are index and columns. Okay, what about the third parameters? Third parameter is bit optional. Okay, now see, we will discuss here. What about when we are going to pivot our data frame? It is understood that we will have a small data frame from the huge data frame. Okay, so in the new data frame, in the reshaped data frame, what we will have? We will have one newly created index. Okay, and that index will come from any of the column of the existing data frame. Okay, then in the new data frame we will have columns also. Again, these columns come from any of the column in the existing data frame. And what are the values? Values means if you want some selective values, then you have to specify the values. If you want all the values, then skip this parameter. In that case, you will have all the values. Okay, so basically when we use pivot function, it need two parameters at least. And what are those two parameters? Index and columns. So after performing pivot function, what we are getting? We are getting a new reshaped data frame, but it may give us error when there are any index or column combinations with multiple values. Now what does it mean? I will come to this topic at last of this video. Let us discuss first what is the meaning of pivoting. I have given here just a random data frame. Okay, this means nothing, but just I have taken one random data frame. Coming to this data frame, I have created this data frame, and here we are having our data frame. Okay, now see, I don't want the whole result. What I want to summarize my data. I want that a new data frame should be there, but in my new data frame, what I want that index should be these index 1 and 2. Okay, so this 1 and 2 belongs to which column? F. No, so my index, the index of new data frame should be what? F. Okay, and in the new data frame, I want my column headings as P, Q, R. Okay, so let me execute this P, Q, R. Okay, so it means that my columns should be what? B, B, B. Okay, and I don't want this both columns as my values. I want only B, A as my values. So can you guess what will be my new data frame, my new reshaped data frame? Let us see what it will be. Now if we are writing here pivot index is equal to F. I told you in my new reshaped data frame, index comes from which column? F. So here we are having how many unique values for index? Unique values. You have to take always unique value. So 1 will come once and 2 will come once. So now see here, our index is what? 1 and 2, and name of the index is F. Then what are the columns we are making for the new data frame? What columns we want? In the existing data frame we were having columns F, B, BAA, Z. Now but in new data frame I want columns should come from which column? B. And here B columns are what? Unique values are what? PQR. So here we will have the heading as PQR. And which data we want? We want the data should come from which column? BAA. So data is coming from which column? It is coming from BAA. Okay, now see what we are having. We are having for the column 1 and for the value P. Okay, what we are having for BAA? We are having BAA as 2. So in our existing data frame the values will only for these values, okay, only for these particular column 2 3 4 5 6 7. We won't have h I j k l m since we have not mentioned here z z z. If you will skip this one bete, then z z z values also will be there, okay. So here what we are doing bete, here we are creating our new reshaped data frame from the existing one. Now similarly here we have mentioned values is equal to BAA and ZZZ, okay. So here we will have both the values. Now see here we are having, now we will have PQR and PQR twice. Why? Because once for the BAA and another one for the ZZZ. Now we are having 2 3 4 and HIJ 5 6 7 and KLM also, okay. So this depends upon totally your perspective, what you want to see from your database, what index you want in your new data frame, what columns you want in your new data frame, and what values you want to see in your new data frame. Accordingly you have to use your index attribute, columns attribute and your values attribute. One thing I want to explain bit here, that in this PDF I have shown you that error part. So what is that? Okay, that will explain you also that what is the need of pivot underscore table. Now see here bete, if you are having any duplicate entries for index column pair in our new data frame, what is index and what is column bete, we are having this one as index and this one as column. So here you see one is combined with P1s, then one is combined with Q1s, one is combined with R1s. Here 2 is combined with P1s, 2 is combined with Q1s and 2 is combined with R1s. What will happen bete if I will repeat my entry? For example, in case of here, let me write once again P. Let us see what will happen. Data frame will be created, no problem. Here you see the data frame has been created, but you see the index and column combination, what we are taking index as FFF and columns as BBB. Now you have to check whether index and column combination has any duplicate values or not. Here you see, here we are having 1 and P combination, and again we are having here 1 and P combination. So for BAA, which value will be taken, value 2 or value 4? So there we will have confusion from pivot function and it is unable to resolve it. So for that duplicate entries we will have error. You can see here bete, we are having error that index contains duplicate entries, cannot reshape. So you may call it as drawback or limitation of pivot function, that it does not work when we are having duplicate entries for any index column combination, okay. And for that reason, because it is confused bete, here we are having combination of 1 and P and the value for BA is 2. Here again we are having combination of 1 and P but the value is 4. So now there is ambiguity that which value will be taken, value 2 or value 4 will be taken. So pivot function is unable to resolve this, so it will give us error. And for that we are having another function, that is pivot underscore table function, that will resolve this ambiguity bete. So the next topic which we will discuss will be pivot underscore table. So I hope you have understood sorting and pivoting function. So thank you for watching bete. Take care.